Let me take you to Ojaoba, Ilori's Royal Market. There is a woman there, maybe you have seen her. She's balancing a tray of peppers on her head, calculating prices faster than your phone calculator, serving 5 customers at once, switching between Hausa and Yoruba as she cracks jokes and keeps the line moving. All this while, this woman is negotiating profit margin in her head without a single ledger or calculator in sight. Tell me, if this woman happens to work at a tech company in Lagos, we would probably say she's managing real-time analytics or maybe running an inventory. But here, what do we call her? Mama Alata, Mama Onitatashe. Why? Because somewhere along the way, we have been taught to believe that innovation must look foreign, that it must come with gadgets, logos, accents. We've been taught to believe that before you can innovate, you have to eradicate and erase where you come from. But that is a lie. Culture is not a barrier to innovation. It is the birthplace of it. Let's look around Nigeria. Before mobile banking, we had Ajo, Esusu, daily or monthly contributions. People came together in small circles to contribute and borrow from a communal pot. You did not need an application. You needed just one thing: trust. That is not an outdated tradition. That is social finance, built on human connection. That is innovation. Before ride-hailing came to town, we had Okada riders, bike men. They could get you anywhere. They knew every shortcut, every broken alley, every broken road. No GPS required. Just instinct, experience, memory. That is hyperlocal logistics based on innovation and culture. Even our language, take Yoruba for an example. It is not just spoken, it is layered. It carries tone and deep cultural nuance. When your grandmother says, "Bí ọmọ bá mọ̀ọ́yá, á fi mọ̀yì," she is not just being poetic, she is teaching leadership. She is encoding emotional intelligence into your everyday life. And that is innovation, being passed across through language. And honestly, we cannot have a serious conversation about innovation without talking about identity. Why? Because every culture contains algorithms, not just the one written in code, but in rituals, in rhythms, and in customs. And when we neglect this, we are not just ignoring traditions. We are losing access to centuries of data, of innovation, of design. And when we lose access to all of these, we lose our competitive edge. We are not supposed to be neglecting culture. Instead, we are supposed to embrace it. Why? Take something like Adire, for example. To the world, it's a colorful fabric, beautiful. But to us, it is more than that. Adire to us is science, is storytelling, is identity. Each dyed by hands. And every motif, every pattern, every indigo wash carries a message, a memory, and a method. That is not just fashion. That is heritage engineering. I say again, why do we keep assuming that innovation must come from Silicon Valley? Why do we keep treating culture as something old and dusty when it's clearly a toolkit? Take a look at our technicians in Otigba when they actually developed power bank from scrap parts. Some of them, they designed solar cooker in Jalingo, and even in Anambra, They converted tricycles into mobile clinic. Also look around at digital payments platforms like Paystack or MoneyPoint. When they came, they are not just tech solutions because they are answers to every Nigerian problem. To a very Nigerian problem, excuse me. When Paystack and MoneyPoint and the rest came, they did not try to change the way we already trade. They studied how Nigerians trade with USSD code, with trust and with urgency. They did not try to invent trust. Rather, they digitize it. Even Nollywood, the second largest film industry in the world, how did it start? It started with people telling stories, low budget, big dreams. People told stories in their languages, Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo. They told stories that their neighbors could relate with affordable equipment. That is not just idea, that is innovation, birthed from cultural storytelling. Let's take a look at agriculture. We have agri-tech companies like Thrive Agric, Farm Crowdy. When these people came, they did not just try to turn farmers into techies, but rather they studied how they currently farm, and they brought system into the way they currently operate. That is innovation. And with them, they are able to turn cultural knowledge into data-driven platforms. Growing up, I used to hear the phrase that don't forget where you are coming from. Ọmọ tó bá gbàgbé ilé ó so àpò ìyàkọ́. I used to think that it was just telling us that we should come back home. But now I realize that it's an innovation strategy. Why? Because when you lose culture, you lose nuance, you lose people. You do not just lose your competitive edge, you also lose the reason the solution matters in the first instance. So, here is what I will leave you with. The next big idea in Africa will not be built in isolation. It will not be copied from somewhere else. It is not coming from Silicon Valley. It will be built from here. It will come from us reading the writings on the walls of our markets, from us listening to the rhythms on the streets, and actually focusing on what we actually have in front of us. Because when you build with culture, you are not just building products. You are building trust. You are building identity. You are building future that looks like us. Thank you.